Welcome to Gatecrashers, a podcast dedicated to kicking open the door to your next favorite thing. Our mission, our creed, our code is this: to make all nerdy things more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a universe that you'll fall in love with. I'm Scarlett, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Dan. I use he, him pronouns. Today we're joined by a special guest. You may know him as Beast Boy from Teen Titans amongst his other roles from characters in Ben 10, TMNT, and even a Fast and the Furious film. None other than the multi-talented Greg Cipes. How are you, Greg?
Hi, everyone. I am grateful and inspired and excited to be here with you all. I love being connected to people that I've never met. And technology is allowing us to do that from a far distance. Where are you? Because I'm in Venice Beach, California, and it's 75 degrees and perfect out.
We're really close to Philadelphia, and it is a balmy 36 degrees.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad I don't have to be there, but I'm sending you love. And thank you, technology, for making me not have to go out to Philly right now. Although I do love Philly. I'm a big fan of Philly. I love spending time there.
Yeah, I don't think there's no other city like it. But I don't mind the cold. It's just that our dog Dinah has kind of at first she was terrified of the snow because she's only a year old, and now it's her favorite thing, to the point where she woke me up in the middle of the night the other night to tell me it was snowing. So she we get to spend a lot of time outside in the morning.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's something. But I will kick it over to Scarlett. She's got some burning questions.
Okay.
All right, so we like to open up our questioning with a really tough question. We're really hard-hitting journalists over here.
Okay.
And so our question is, what is your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich would be, I'm a vegan, as you know. Beast Boy and I are similar in that respect. I brought that to the character as well. Beast Boy's a vegan because of me. And my favorite sandwich would probably be anything with avocado and vegan. I would say I rarely eat sandwiches, but I guess a vegan BLT would be amazing. I love them. I'm more into burritos right now. I had amazing vegan burrito this morning.
That sounds really good. I've only had one time I had this vegan BLT, and it had tempeh, and it was this little like mom and pop shop when I was growing up, and they had like all natural, like vegan, vegetarian foods. And that was the first time I'd ever had tempeh, and it was amazing. And I wish I could find a place around here that like makes it like they did, but it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, there's definitely better tasting alternatives now than ever before. And they're superior for every reason than eating dead animal. You know, dead rotting flesh is not something you should be putting in your body unless it's for like last minute survival, which I don't think anybody's in that situation, especially here in America. But yeah, it's best to be plant-based if you want to be healthy, happy, holy, and light energy.
Yeah. And I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that until you mentioned it, that you actually brought that to the character, because like it was something that's so important to you, and you brought that to Beast Boy. So that's awesome. Like I learned that today.
And the other thing is Michelangelo is also a vegan, but I had to really fight for them to, he eats everything though on the show, but a turtle would be vegan traditionally. Turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to please me sometimes, but they're like, "No, Mikey's gonna eat pepperoni this episode." I'm like, "No, let him be a vegan."
Yeah, I love that, though. I love that that's something that is so true to you, and you don't shy away from that. You embrace it, and you're like, this is who I am. This is what I want to portray and put out there into the world, and I respect that wholeheartedly.
Well, I love animals more than anything in the whole universe. And my dog, my guru, my son, my everything, Wingman G. Cipes, is the nectar of the universe, and he inspires everything that I do now more than anything else in my whole entire existence. So I'm so grateful for animals, and especially dog. Dog is my savior.
Well, I'm glad we share that too. We both love animals. I actually, Dan, he wasn't a big cat fan until he met me. And then we adopted our 2 baby cats, and now we have 2 cats and a dog. And so those are our children.
Yeah. Wingman, we always have both. And I love cats so much too. So much. He's got a kitty sister right now. She's a Russian Mancoon, and they love each other. He grew up his whole life with cat brothers and sisters.
It's fantastic. My next question, and that kind of ties into what we were just talking about being vegan and this lifestyle. What inspired you to stop eating meat and to go with vegan at such an early age and a young age? What inspired you to kind of, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to go for it?
I never really liked the taste of dead animal. Like I remember eating like a hamburger, and there'd be like chewy little pieces of weird, like unchewable, like fatty bead things, and I would just like want to yak. Like it was always so gross and disgusting. But the flavoring and the sauces you could put on dead meat are the things you really kind of like the taste of. So early on, I just didn't like the flavor. I didn't like the taste of it. And then when I connected it with animals suffering, I made a conscious decision at the age of around 12 to say, okay, I don't want to eat animals anymore. And at the time, I still continued to have dairy, because I didn't know that dairy at the time, like it is now, but essentially it is liquid meat. It's blood and pus from the inside of an animal's stomach, a cow, and it's undigestible, and it causes a lot of health problems, especially acne or zits. That's blood and pus showing up in your face, and your face is like the place where your body puts the information so you don't miss it. So it's like, look right here, you're eating something you shouldn't eat. It's going to come out of your face telling you. So yeah, eventually I got the message that dairy is also meat. It's liquid meat, and you don't want that either. But it's kind of how it all started. My love for animals, I just don't like suffering, and I also don't like the taste or the smell of any animal products. Not even eggs. I mean, who the heck likes the smell of eggs? It smells like rotting turkey butt, like sulfur, just like disgusting chicken fetuses. But you get addicted to it all, and you have to take years sometimes. It took me years to burn the gross stuff out of the it's a longer discussion, but essentially it takes a while. So don't be hard on yourself. Take it easy, do it in, phases, and naturally your body's going to want to get healthier and healthier and healthier, because you're giving it the proper nutrition and the proper food. So it becomes a natural process. So little by little, you'll literally weed out the blood and pus, dairy, and the dying in the dead, rotting animal flesh cravings. It turns into not food. Like it's not food for you. But it took me years.
Yeah, I think that's such a powerful story. Like, especially since you said you were at age 12, and you're like, I'm going to do this. And just knowing like how my brothers are, because I'm the older sister, and imagining them trying to like telling them, hey, like I couldn't see them at 12 doing that. So like for you to do that, that's amazing.
Well, I was inspired. Also, my older brother, Sean, who's always been an inspiration in my life. He was a vegetarian first, but he never went the full vegan route. But he did inspire me. I looked up to him, and I probably questioned the animal part because of him. He probably made me look at it. He's like, dude, you shouldn't eat. Did you want to hurt animals? I was like, no way, I don't want to hurt animals. That was probably it. Yeah.
Our next question, so this is kind of like a two-parter question. Mm-hmm. So what inspired you to get into acting? And for any of our listeners aspiring to do what you do and to take those steps, what does it take to become a professional actor and a voice actor?
Patience. and fearlessness, and more so than anything, finding yourself, because your voice is on the pedestal. You can't hide behind a costume or makeup, and that means doing everything that you can to find yourself and go into the places that you're afraid of. But in general, acting, the best of actors requires somebody who has access to their emotions. So you need to be able to access your emotions and bring them to the role. And there's many ways to do that, but essentially you got to find one way to do it and grow from there. And it starts with you. The first thing to realize, the first truth, the first emotion is, getting excited about finding out who you are, and then you bring that to the characters.
So was there like a point in your life where you're like, this is what I want to do? Like, was there a moment that inspired you, or was it a person that really inspired you?
For me, I always, I felt like I wanted to make a difference in the world, and entertainment was the way to do it. I was a junior pro surfer, third in the US, and I gave up professional surfing to come to Hollywood and make movies and TV shows, and I never stopped. And now I'm making and creating and producing, and just luckily I'm on a whole bunch of great TV shows as well that are not mine, but I'm now in the position as a creator of shows and producing television networks and making television networks happen. Like I'm launching Venice Beach TV right now, which is MTV meets Adult Swim when MTV was cool, mixed with Venice Beach. If you know anything about Venice Beach, it's literally the United Nations of the world. It's a wild, wild place. It's the Wild West. You can't go any further west. And it is fascinating, intriguing, and it makes for a perfect television station. And I basically produced about $500,000 worth of content already for the network. And it's a community-based network. So we're seeking and searching for creators from all around the world, because again, Venice Beach is the true United Nations of the world, to submit their content. And we will most likely, if it's good, we will feature it on our blocks of entertainment and give you credit. You get to be part of these blocks of entertainment that are star-studded and super amazing. And it all works because it's Venice. So if you got some really cool art, documentaries, music videos, feature films, animations, short or long, no limit. Everything works in Venice. That's why Venice Beach TV is such a special thing in my life right now that I'm creating.
Well, it sounds awesome. And I've only ever been out to California one time. And we went to the main, like, Hollywood, see all the sights and stuff. And it was just like a day trip. And I have heard of Venice Beach. I've seen pictures and videos. And it's definitely a place I need to go visit the next time I ever head out west.
You have to. Got to do it.
Dan, that's on our list to do when we head out to California. We got to go to Venice Beach.
Yeah, I've got friends there too.
Dogtown. That's the name of it. You know that?
Well, yeah, was that
Venice
I remember that movie. Was it Lords of Dogtown? Was that set in Venice Beach? Was that set around there? That's what I first thought of when you said Dogtown.
Yeah, Dogtown, Venice Beach. It's all here.
It's like where skateboarding was born, right?
Basically. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I live on the boardwalk, and I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people, 100,000 people every weekend walking by my front balcony, my front porch. And it's the best dog watching in the whole world, and the best skateboard watching in the world, the best people watching. It's one of the last free places on earth.
Well, it sounds fantastic.
It's so humanly diverse. It's a phenomenon that only occurs here.
Our next question, of all the characters you have voiced, which ones are your personal favorites, if you have any?
I'm grateful, and I love all the characters that I've played. I truly I have so much fun with every opportunity I get to play characters. But the most dear to my heart are the ones that I've been playing the longest. Obviously, Beast Boy. I helped create that character 20 years ago. He is who he is today because he's a big part of who I am on every level and every day. And every time I do a new episode, I bring more and more of who I am to who he is, and vice versa. He inspires me. And Wingman, my dog, is the real life Beast Boy. So I really infuse things from my life into all my roles. So they're all very important to me. And Michelangelo and Kevin Levin and Iron Fist and on and on and on. And they're all great.
Well, I think I speak for a lot of our listeners and myself when I say this. Like, I've been watching, Ben 10 and Teen Titans ever since I was like when it first came on. And so just hearing your voice and seeing the characters that you've portrayed have been an integral part of my life. So I do thank you for bringing these characters that I loved from comics to reality. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for accepting my art and enjoying it.
Yeah, it's like anytime I read a comic book, I'm sure you might have heard this before, but like anytime I read a comic book or anything where I see Beast Boy, like I read it in your voice. I know that sounds weird, but your voice is the voice that I hear when I associate Beast Boy. It's just integral, like into the character for me.
Beast Boy is basically the Mickey Mouse of our generation. Or many generations. I feel like he's that level to me, and I think for a lot of people that he sticks out in that way. As far as energetically, he's like the cooler green. He could turn into a mouse. So
that's a good point. They have a lot in common. If there's any character you'd love to have the opportunity to portray, who would it be and why? Maybe a character you haven't done, but you'd love to get the opportunity to bring them to life. Who would it be and why?
It would actually be Mickey Mouse. So we teed it up perfectly. Like Mickey Mouse.
I love it. I
do. The cool Mickey Mouse. The cooler Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying? Me and Minnie be kicking it at the beach, yo.
I love it. I can just imagine Mickey Mouse, like this Mickey Mouse, like wearing a nice, like Hawaiian shirt. He's got his like Ray-Bans on. He's ready to go to the beach, hang out.
Yeah. That's the Mickey Mouse I want to play.
Which characters have you voice acted that you would like to spend a day with? And like, what would they do? Like, what would these characters do? Like, if you had the opportunity, these characters were alive, what would you guys do?
I really would just like to spend time with Beast Boy because I would just make him turn into all these animals and just hang out with all these animals, knowing that, I don't have to be scared of a tiger or a lion or a dinosaur or something. Or I could take a ride on his pterodactyl back or whatever it may be. It'd be cool.
That is a very good point. I am a big lover of big cats, and there's that, that fear, like they are, wild animals, and I would love to hug them or go see them up close. But then also it's a tiger or a lion, and something bad could happen. So if I was to meet Beast Boy and be like, that's a good point. Like, hey, can you turn into this animal so I can see that?
Yeah.
Staying on the topic of Beast Boy, because it is such a iconic character that you've brought to life. Why do you think Beast Boy is such a beloved character, and what about him makes him such a fan favorite?
Because people love animals more than anything, more than themselves when it comes down to it, even though the sad fact of the matter is in America alone, they kill thousands of dogs and cats every day because they don't have a home for them, that needs to be abolished forever. That should never happen anywhere on earth, especially in America where people love their dogs and cats so much. They should be making that end once and for all. But people love animals, and people love the Joker, and people love the innocence and the wildness that Beast Boy exudes. And it's really fun to bring that wild energy, that party animal energy to this little green guy who has a very, very wide range of emotions as well. I think that's another reason why people enjoy Beast Boy so much. He's kind of accessible from every direction.
Yeah, I think he's the whole thing, like you just said, with all of the animals. And I just remember the specific episode of Teen Titans, and he got in trouble. He was being a jokester, and he got into trouble with Starfire, and he was just doing the little kitty face. And I've just always loved that. I've always loved the little, he you know, like you said, he is a jokester, but he learns from, you know, his mistakes, and he's a lovable character.
Yeah, and Beast Boy on Teen Titans Go is more of a rascal, and it's fun to play that the extreme rascal version of Beast Boy. And because I feel that's the universe is funny. Like in the end, it's a cosmic giggle, and Beast Boy, this incarnation of Beast Boy on Teen Titans Go is very much the cosmic giggle of the universe. Although earlier versions, like the original Teen Titans, he was a little more innocent and not such a rascal. He was always a jokester and playful, of course, but I've made Teen Titans Go Beast Boy a little more, he's more of a rascal.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like growing up watching the original Teen Titans and now loving Teen Titans Go and watching that, you know, being older and kind of like looking at the differences, you know, I love both of them. And it's cool to see, like you said, this kind of otherwise innocent character in the original versus, you know, it's the same character, but it's also a different kind of version, a different essence of the same character.
Yeah, exactly. Threading the needle.
Yeah. All right. So this last question from me is a personal question. I had to ask this one. I would beat myself down if I didn't. And this has probably been asked before, so I apologize if you get asked this all the time. But I have to know. Beast Boy and Tara or Beast Boy and Ray Ray? Which one do you ship and why? Which one do you ship and why, Greg? We have to know this question. We have to know this answer.
I got a lot of love to give. Beast Boy is, I can't answer that question. I think what's going to happen is you're going to need to tune into my podcast with Tara Strong called The Ship It Show when we finally do our BB Ray episode, which hopefully will be coming soon. I know everybody wants us to do our BB Ray Ship It Show episode, but last week we did Cyborg and Jinx, Jinx, and every week we do a really cool ship and explore it. So you have to wait for that one to listen to our podcast, because Tara Strong gets so mad if I say anything right now.
All right, Gate Crashers, you heard it. You have to go check out their podcast. That's where you'll find this hard-hitting question.
Right.
Hey, it's me. I'm back.
Hey.
So if you don't mind, I'd like to talk more about Venice Beach.
Sure.
So last year you released Venice Beach with your band Cipes and the People. And I'm listening to the whole thing, and I kind of feel what you've been saying throughout, but I kind of want to understand a little bit more of like what Venice Beach means to you.
Well, it's life. It's truly life. There's so much movement and so much beauty and so much color. It's impossible not to be inspired. It also has some of the wildest, craziest energy on planet Earth. It's got some very dark stuff as well. But from the darkness, you know, like the lotus flower pulls from the dirtiest, muddiest, darkest water, and out comes this beautiful lotus flower. So you need muddy water, and Venice has the dark side to it. But more than anything, it's a joyous, more harmonious community than I've ever seen anywhere in the whole on planet Earth. People working together, all walks of life, walking together and looking at each other and sharing their art. And it's a community like no other place. And it's a real community. It's an actual thriving, harmonious community. Even the police are a part of it. And it's just so special because I feel like it's ground zero for human evolution. And that's why I find myself here and giving more and more of my life to Venice Beach, because she gives me life. I find when I travel for Comic-Cons, I love everywhere I go. And I love spending time in Laurel Canyon, where I have a beautiful yoga studio, and community space that I hold events at and things like that. And it's beautiful in Hollywood Hills, but Venice Beach is really where it's at.
Do you teach yoga?
I teach yoga. I teach meditation. I teach acting class now every Wednesday at 8 p.m. at the Treehouse. It's really cool. And eventually there'll be some programming for people to watch some of the class.
Nice. And you did mention meditation. I've been following you for quite some time, and you do talk about meditation a lot. And our whole show is about helping people get into things. So how did you kind of find meditation?
My father probably inspired it, the notion of it. He practiced transcendental meditation, and he had a mantra given to him by the Maharaji. But personally, I feel like I always was looking for more than what was presented to me with like school, for instance. I always thought school was more of a waste of time than anything, but I enjoyed the good parts of it, like the human interaction, the friends and stuff. But I didn't take any of it seriously because for me, I knew there was something more, and that the inner journey is more important than the outer journey. So I got lucky enough I got blessed to be introduced to different Indian teachers, saintly prophets that were on this earth, and they were yoga masters and philosophers, and I've been taught by them through their books, through their videos, and sometimes even meeting some of them. And I learned from everybody, but I found myself through others and great teachers from the East, from India more so than any other place. Kundalini Yoga, Krishna consciousness, Osho, who's a Zen master, and A.C. Bhaktivedanta. There's just so many great teachers, but more than ever now, my meditation comes from serving my dog. He keeps me present, and meditation is all about being present. And it's not just about being present, it's about being conscious of where you're looking from, where you're acting from. And that, for me, the crown jewel of life's experience is actually being of the heart, and dogs bring you to the heart space. And if you could purely serve your dog, then you will find that your heart space, and therefore the world will smile back at you like you've never experienced. But it takes pure service of your dog, and continually realizing you're the one that's needs to learn. They don't. Dogs have all the greatest qualities in the universe in them. Pure presence, compassion, loyalty, playfulness, wisdom, beauty, on and on and on and on. And sure, you could teach a dog to do a trick or something like that, but more than anything, they're your teachers. So get with that, and that's the only meditation you'll need. And there's millions of ways to meditate, but through service of your animals is the most beautiful way to just bring yourself to pure presence and in the heart space.
Wow. I've always had trouble myself trying to meditate, and as I've grown as a person, I spent a lot of time trying to, figure out who I am and center myself. And I wanted to ask you, like human to human, like what types of things you do to center yourself, but it sounds like a lot of it is centered around being present and with the people you care about, your dog.
My dog and he allows me to get into the heart space and be in a function from a higher vibrational frequency, which allows me to be love for my friends, unconditional love to my friends and my family. And the more I embrace Wingmanji as my guru and my truly my savior, the more I'm a better human being in general to everybody and everything. And that in itself is meditation, because you have to be present with the present. I mean, it's right in front of our faces. The present is the present. It's the gift. So you're missing the gift if you're not present. So getting present takes consciousness, which means being connected and aware, which means you have to take deep breaths, because through your deep breaths comes awareness. So you become a deep breather, and you really start to see things and slow down, which allows you to be really fast too, and allows you to experience magic like you've never experienced ever before by having things come to you. You don't have to chase them down. You become a magnet. So there's a lot of benefits to meditation. More than anything, though, it's the real peace that everyone's looking for. It's the real richness that is worth more than any gold. Is the inner journey and what you can find inside. That's through meditation. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think on all that too. Like that's so much knowledge that I need, like kind of.
You can listen back to it over and over.
Yeah. Like, what are some of the like qualities that you see in dogs that you think more people should try to emulate and like try to live by?
Well, first off, our instincts. We suppress our instincts. Dogs, if they want to have alone time, they walk away and they go lay down. They don't give you like, oh, hey, they don't say, hey, bro, I'm going to go lay down over here. Is that cool? Or I'm going to take a nap. First off, they listen to their bodies. We don't do that. We like chug more coffee or get distracted and like don't listen to our body, like wait too long to go to the bathroom and all this weird stuff we do. Whereas dogs and animals in general, they live by their instincts. So being instinctual is critical for true freedom on planet Earth as a human being. And dogs teach you that if you serve them correctly and you get to their level of consciousness. Basically, you can look at it like there's Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Allah consciousness, Yahweh, whatever you want. But there's another way, and it's through dog consciousness. Dog consciousness is Christ consciousness, because Christ consciousness is about being present to God. And dog is pure presence. They're not in their head. They are pure presence. So you can find God through dog. And it's right there again, right in front of your face, just like the present is the present, dog is God. And not only that, man's best friend is God, dog. So it's like, it's all there for us. We just got to get down to their level or up to their level. They're the highest forms of life on the planet, dogs.
Wow. Yeah. I usually like have things to say, but like I'm like, all of this makes sense. Like it's a lot to take in. And I know you're a musician too, which I think is something that I've done my whole life. What kind of power do you think there is in music?
Wingman's middle name is music. We are actually music. We're all just sound vibrational frequencies, actually, when it comes down to it on a molecular level. So you are music. So it's all about the music. It's all about the music. It's what you're programming yourself with. The food you eat is music. Everything has a vibrational frequency to it. The friends you associate with, the people you make love to, the movies you watch, we're sponges of vibrational frequencies. So it's all music. It's the most important thing there is.
And all that makes sense, because like it can change your vibrations as well. And all you have to do is really listen to yourself and your body. Wow. All right. Okay. I didn't know if I was going to come away from this with all this like life-changing knowledge, but like all of the vibrations kind of like click, like it all just makes sense to be present and be there for those things.
Yes.
And I have two more. One is that you've been someone who's been involved in fandoms and these kind of nerd spaces for some time. What are some positive takeaways you have from them? Like, what are the things that you see that you're like, this is like a good community and things like that?
Expression of self through cosplay is one of the greatest parts of, the nerddom, the Comic-Con world, which is now everybody's, wants to go to Comic-Con. It's the coolest thing in the whole world now. And, but the energy of dressing up and being whoever you want to be, I think is really important. And I wish people would just be who they want to be every fucking day and dress however you want. Be a fucking ninja, a fairy, a beast boy, or whoever you want to dress up. Like live, just live and have fun and be playful. It's like having Halloween every day, and there's actually no reason to stop. And I think there's space for much more space available for people to kind of grow into that realization. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. The imagination being sparked and fed by these cool fandoms it's very special.
That's why we do this whole thing anyway. To be frank, we started as a DC only podcast to try to kind of help get people into it because there's a lot of accessibility issues. But now we're like, we can do this for everything. Like, we want people to find stuff they love to express who they are. So like that, I'm glad that's what you see as well.
Yeah, and the diversity, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be whoever you want. And that intrinsically makes you see past black, white, yellow, orange, whatever your skin color is. It doesn't matter anyway.
So our last question is kind of like our first one. Pretty tough. If you had a Rube Goldberg machine, what would it do?
A what?
A Rube Goldberg machine. So what it is like, you've seen it in cartoons. It's like that super complicated machine that does a simple task. So it like knocks some dominoes down and that rolls a marble that like moves an airplane.
So what's the question?
What would yours do? Like, what is something in your life that you would have like this complicated journey of little machines that does something simple?
Water all my plants.
Oh, that is a very good
and
one.
I have a lot of plants, man. I love my trees. I love my plants. I'm looking at all my plant babies right now. They're very happy in the Venice Beach sun. I've got probably, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got over 50 plants just here that I take care of.
I have a cat over there. I don't have any plants. Maybe I should get plants.
You should definitely have a plant.
All right. Well, that's all right.
You got no plans without a plant, man.
Well, Greg, where can people find you or your projects that are upcoming?
Venice Beach TV and Greg Cipes everywhere. You know, my at Greg Cipes, GregCipes, everywhere on every social media platform, Greg Cipes. And look out for Venice Beach TV because it's coming in hot. By summer, we'll have a tremendous amount of momentum and a lot of cool content for you to absorb and enjoy. It's one of those things. I was just watching our second episode that we finished. We're not going to release it till we have a huge library of content, which will be another month or so, maybe less, to really start putting out some things. But it's one of those pieces of art, or basically you can just hit play and let it go. And you don't even have to be in the room because it sounds freaking cool and it looks cool. And it's hard to not watch because it's so weird. Venice Beach is so weird that you kind of can't take your eyes off of what we've created.
I'm very excited to see all of that.
Yeah, a lot of cool cartoons, new cartoons you've never seen before. A lot of comedies, live action comedies, a lot of stuff. I'm starring in probably 80 or 90% of every single thing on the network. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Good for you.
It's my my Tyler Perry moment in a big way.
Where you're kind of making your own thing.
Yeah, but with a big community of people, yeah.
You can find us at gatecrashers.fan, gatecrasherspod on all the social medias. And we'll catch you next week.
Gatecrashers.